Morning. Oh, I'm really suffering with my eyes at the moment. Let's take my arse because I had all windows open when I drove over. And I ended up with like electric socket, look. But yeah, I'm really suffering with this. It's so sore. I've ordered some eye drops because the problem is that because I don't really have eye lubrication, the pollen is really aggravating my eyes, which just makes them 20 million times worse than they need to be. And the hydrochloroquine isn't going to help with that. Basically, the hydrochloroquine is more to help with like joint pain and the fatigue and the muscle pains, and you know, and it might not even work. So and there's other drugs they can try me on, but I'm hoping this one works. And so far, touch wood, it's been all right. I figured out that I can't take it with my other meds in the morning because that makes me feel really sick. So I take my other meds, and then a couple of hours later I then have my breakfast. So I have my breakfast later, and then I'm having my lunch later, just so that I can have this morning one, because I find the evening one's fine because I'm not taking other drugs except for the pilocarpine. So, and they don't seem to clash together, the pilocarpine and the hydrochloroquine. They seem to be fine, but for some reason my hydrochloroquine makes me feel really sick if I take it with my other meds. So I'm like on a blood pressure med, I'm on levothyroxine, I'm on a large dose of esomeprazole because my GP thinks I've got silent reflux, because I don't seem to get the acid, but because I'm having this choking thing, she thinks that might be what's going on. I'm not convinced because I've read the Sjogren's, however you say it. Honestly, everybody seems to say it differently. And they seem to think that you can get this like stiffness in your esophagus, and that has to be stretched basically, and it's part of the Sjogren's. But she wants to give this a try first, see if I stop choking, because I am choking on my dinner so much. It's quite scary because Chris had to like really thump me to get me to stop choking. It was horrible. So I've tried to order the eye stuff through the doctors because it's prescription only, apparently, for this allergy thing that I've been recommended by the ophthalmologist. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Ophthalmologist. I probably will need to be referred to one at some point because, because I'm struggling with my eyes, and you can only really get the additional help through them. I can't do it through the GP, so I probably will eventually, if it's just not, because there's different things they can give me that the doctor can't give me straight away without kind of their approval. And it seems to be that a lot of Sjogren's people do eventually have to see one because my eyes are so bad. The pilocarpine does help in the sense that I get like almost like I get fuzzy eyesight, like fuzzy and blurry and double vision and all that, and I find the pilocarpine helps with that. But it's not like it doesn't last very long. It feels better for about an hour, and then it just goes back to normal. So, and I'm on the 5 milligram now because I started on half of that to start with, and now I'm on the 5 milligram because I was finding that the half milligram wasn't making any difference at all. And the only thing is I've been getting a bit of a headache, so I'm hoping that's gonna eventually settle down, hopefully, because I mean, although I'm only getting sort of an hour's relief, it's still an hour, isn't it? And my eyes feel a bit better, especially if I'm at work. It's much better because then my eyes aren't, because I'm struggling at work because the lights are really bright, and I have to have a fan on full because it's so hot there that's then drying my eyes out as well. And so I'm really struggling at work with my eyes, and it makes you feel really tired when you can't see properly or your eyes are affected. It makes you feel really tired and worn out. So and it's only like a few hours. It's ridiculous really, because I've literally changed my jobs like 4 times now, trying to find something that I can do that's within this. And my next port of call is to do remote, something remote from home, which I'm going to look into. I want to go and see the job centre to get some advice about it, because I just don't know if me working in an office is a good idea. Because like, especially on the Saturday where I'm there all day, it's not a hard job, it's not hard physically, but because the lights are so bright and it's so hot in there, whereas at home I can control my environment, you know, and I have access to all my stuff easily. You know, if I'm having a bad day, I can stick my eye compress on and all that stuff, and you can't really do that when you're working in an office. It's more difficult. So yeah, I am thinking of doing remote working from home. I've seen a few places where you can be like customer service, and I even saw one that was like a receptionist from home. And so it might be an option, but I need to go and have a chat, I think, with the job centre to see if they're able to help me in any way. And I missed out on the access to work because work didn't bloody realise I was disabled for 8 months, which I thought was a bit odd at the time. And because they waited so long to do my OT assessment, which I've just had my OT assessment, they now can't get funding to help me do something, because they want to put air conditioning in to make it easier for me in the office, which is brilliant. But they sort of said, oh, it depends on funding, because obviously now they can't get funding for me, and it depends on the school budget, which is understandable because I'm just one person. But at the same time, I know that office gets up to 28 degrees, and it's not just me that gets hot, it's the other staff that work in there as well. So it would be to their advantage for the other staff, because it is boiling in there. It's like a greenhouse some days, because the humidity can be really high in there because of the pool. So it's so uncomfortable to work in there. So I'd much rather look into working from home, and my husband said I should look into it. And it might be that I can, because I'm working from home, that I might be able to work a few extra hours. So, because at the moment, because I'm having to go to work, I'm managing about 16 hours. And I say I'm managing, I'm not really managing, because literally I'm having to have a nap sometimes in the afternoon before I go to work, just to cope. I have to rest before work. I mean, I'm very good at pacing anyway. I've always been a big person that paces. I pace all the time because I just get so exhausted all the time. So, but because of the heat and everything, I've been having to have naps. So I've been having to go upstairs and have a nap for an hour before I go to work, because I just feel so crap. And Saturdays is awful. The Saturday just gone, I just did at work, because I'm there all day, it was like torture. It was awful. I just literally don't know how I got through the day. I struggled so bad through the whole day. So it's a difficult thing, isn't it? Sort of, because I want to earn money, because it shouldn't just be, my husband's disabled as well. He's got a disability. He's got rheumatoid arthritis, and he's got trouble with his feet. You know, he's just had to have a big operation. It shouldn't just be down to him to earn all the money. So, but I've got to find a way of doing it that also suits my issues. So it's really difficult. I mean, I was lucky before, because I did domiciliary care, and I did mostly what they call companion calls, because my husband works for the company, so he was able to make sure that I didn't have anything physical. So I was like, companionship calls where, you know, you might bung a microwave dinner in for them, and sit and have a cup of tea with them, that kind of thing. So it's not like heavily physical, but I couldn't even do that because I was struggling to drive the car all the time. So it's a bit of a nightmare. And because I'm in pain all the time, because like you try and explain it to people, but they don't really get it. I'm literally in pain all the time. I wake up and I'm in pain. It hurts to walk everywhere. So it doesn't, like, there's no like reprieve. It's not like I get half an hour with no pain. I literally, every step hurts. If it's not my feet really hurting, it's my ankles really hurting. If it's not my ankles hurting, it's my knees hurting. If my knees don't hurt, it's my hips hurting. There's like something always hurting. So like every step I take is like got some form of pain embedded in it. And, you know, they try, you know, the physiotherapist is like, well, you've got to try and stay active and you've got to try and stay mobile, but you're fighting against being in pain all the time. And I'm fighting extreme fatigue all the time. And like, I feel like I'm constantly flaring all the time. Like I just spend so much time pacing constantly. You know, I have more bad days than I have good days. I honestly don't know how I go to work sometimes. I really don't. I have to force myself because, which is just miserable. It's like torture. And my husband's having to go through it because, like, we can't afford for him to be on sick. So the poor shit has had to go to work with his boot on, because he's got like a boot on because he can work in the office. And it's a fucking horrible state of affairs because really he should have been at home resting with his foot up and he hasn't been able to. He's had to go to work. And we're just not managing at all with our pain and everything. We just want, like, we just keep thinking, how are we supposed to have a nice future and we can't even fucking do anything? Like at the weekend, we're both fucked. Like Sunday, like literally, I hardly move off the sofa all day because I've worked all day on the Saturday and I feel absolutely hammered. And yet it's not a physical job at all, but it's just the fact that I've got to sit there all day absolutely wipes me out. And so I do think remote would probably be better, but it's just finding the right one, because I don't want to move from a job. So at the moment I get all the school holidays off, which is massive for me, because every sort of 6-7 weeks I'm getting like a week off. Like in Easter we get 2 weeks off, and in Christmas we get 2 weeks off, and I get the whole of the summer off. Like I've got 2 weeks and then I break up for the summer and I got a whole like nearly 6 weeks off. And when you've got chronic illness, it's amazing to have that, because it means I literally can just vegetate and, you know, I can rest a lot more. Gives me more energy to do other stuff. So it really fucking sucks sometimes having a chronic illness. And normally I feel a bit better when the weather's better. I normally have a bit more energy, but this time, because of this bloody Sjogren's, I just haven't got any energy at all. So I'm hoping this hydrochloroquine is going to help with the energy level thing. I can't really do a lot about the pain because they won't put me on any painkillers because of the bruising, which has just been ongoing for months and months. And you get fed up of trying to sort it out. I've been trying to get them to sort it out for like 2 years. And it's like, well, surely we just need to find out what's causing the bruising. And if it can be sorted out, then I can, you know, get pain relief or have some pain relief. And then one of the girls was going on about, well, why don't you go on CBD and everything? Well, I have tried CBD in the past and it was really helpful. But it's like really expensive. I mean, 10ml bottle of it in the strength that I need was 60 quid. And I shopped around because you need like a broad spectrum one with my fibro and my Sjogren's pain. You need like what they call a broad spectrum one. So it's like, I think it's like 1,000 milligram or something like that. And you want to make sure it doesn't have any THC in it. It's madness, it is. Can't believe like the UK is so backwards when it comes to pain relief, because like you could get medical marijuana like if you're in America, and you could make your own like tinctures with it. That would really help. You can, because you can make your own tinctures so easily. But the only way to do that here is if you break the law, which I don't want to do, because I'm on a DBS and I can't, you know, because I have to have an enhanced DBS, I can't get into trouble with the law. I just find it so backwards, because I know it would help me, because I know that the CBD oil really helps. And I've had gummies in the past when I was younger, and they really helped my pain. I didn't even have to have a lot. I literally just had like a quarter of it, so it wasn't enough to make me feel stoned or anything. It just was enough to take the edge of the pain off. So it's really ridiculous that a lot of people, you know, with neurogenic pain or neuropathic pain, are left to suffer in pain. Makes no sense to me. When there's, you know, and we farm it apparently in Britain. We have marijuana farms. We've got one of the biggest producers of marijuana in Britain, yet we can't help our own people. Absolutely stupid. I don't want to be stoned. I just want to be not in pain. Ridiculous. Anyway, just thought I'd have a whinge. Gotta go home. Have my late breakfast, because I had to drop my hubby off today because he's house sitting, because he can't drive because of his boot, but he's got a whole week off. He's so pleased. He'll just vegetate for the whole week, because he hasn't got to look after anybody except for himself and the 2 dogs that he's looking after. So he'll be fine. He'll be vegetating. Yeah. Anyway, hope you're having a good start to your week. I got work later, which I'm not looking forward to. But got to do what you got to do to pay the bills, haven't you, I suppose? Like, I'm all swollen again. This is all swollen. You see how flat this is, and then this sticks out. Massaging helps though. Warm compresses, but it's really sore all around here. Oh well. Ta-ra for now.